Hey, Shalom Market. This is Nama with the DC Camp Branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. Hey, and for this video, once again, the women in general, but in particular this broad right here. But first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Fahawadash. And of course, once again, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. All right, who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and the byways, pushing the truth across the four corners of the earth. All right, I'm still trying to wake up the remaining hopefully elect. All right, so yeah, once again, this this woman here is back. By now, you should know that she sued Lyft because the driver, and correctly so, pointed out, hey, you can't fit in my car. This is how I make my livelihood. I'm thinking this is what's on his mind. And she took offense, of course, and we don't know. Maybe this is something that was done by her on purpose. Don't know, can't really say. But come on now. You know that you are challenged in a particular way, trying to be nice. A regular little old car is not going to do you any kind of justice. All right. Again, what might seem to those on the outside as this guy being an asshole. No. He had every right. That's how he makes his livelihood. Now, people have said also, and I tend to agree, I was looking in the comments, that the mistake the driver made was engaging her at all. If you cancel a ride, a job, whatever, how you describe it, then that's it. Drive the fuck off. They say, and I get it, they say that he should have never engaged her, that allowed her to, of course she was recording this. That's why I had said, well, maybe this is something she did, Hey, everybody wants their 15 minutes, right? But let's go ahead and get into this video. I done rambled enough. See, this is a byproduct of America. Allowing someone like this. Back in the day, this would have never happened. First of all, there's no shame here in America. So that in itself would have allowed to check someone like this. It would make that person, look at their selves. But no, the last, I don't know how long, let's just say 3 decades, have given, people that shouldn't have it an audience. Here we go.
My body right now is like my mind don't know that I'm this big.
I mean, maybe that's your first problem, and I'm glad at least you're acknowledging that.
Landing tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
So this woman has already established that she is a lot larger than she knows, that her mind will try to compensate in a form of denial to say that she can do things or achieve things that she spatially cannot. The reason why I'm even making this follow-up video is because this woman,
Like Mr. Scott from Star Trek always used to say, you can't cheat the laws of physics.
is suing Lyft, but as a result of her making a big deal and acting entitled at the fact that she could not fit inside someone's car when she knows clearly she couldn't, the man still lost his job. And to this day, as of the time of making this video, as far as I'm aware, he has not been given back his job. Somebody lost their livelihood because...
And if I were him, I would countersue. Oh, you're gonna, you know what? Let me shut up, because all these points, trust me, they're coming up.
This woman was in denial.
My mind does not know that I'm this big, so I be feeling like I can do everything.
You feel like you can do everything except have compassion for other people who have to put up with you, right? Did you seek out that man and apologize? I don't know when she recorded this video, but I feel like it's incriminating enough for the court case. If she's saying she thinks she can do things when she actually can and that she forgets how big she is, then how does she expect to win a case against a man who claims she was too small to fit inside his car? Honestly, I think people have the right idea because there's a simple way to settle all of this. As this woman suggested on Twitter,
bring the car to the courthouse. Bring the car. We don't need to hear no arguments. Bring the car. Every time I see this heifer, she is never fully in the car. And these is SUVs. Every time I see her, she's in.
And there's precedents for that. I don't know if for those whenever you grew up, but I remember seeing court dramas and where the judges would go to a particular scene of the crime. But that's a good point. Bring the car and have her. Hey, you said you could fit. Show us. Look at these. These are SUVs, and look at her. Man.
SUV and she is never fully in that bitch. Get your ass in the car, put your seatbelt on, and then we'll talk about it. There ain't no way this man done lost his job for this bullshit. Bring the car to the courthouse, get in it, not halfway in it. Talk about I can fit in this car. Show me.
I get mad at me, but bitch, I don't care. She knew fuck well she couldn't get in that back seat. I can't stand when us big folks try to do skinny shit. You knew you needed a fucking Tahoe or Escalator or something, bitch. Why the fuck you trying to get in that little Civic and shit, little Honda Sonata, whatever it was? Listen, don't piss me off.
Bring the car to the courthouse.
So yeah, I actually agree with this. Bring the car, have her try to get inside, case closed. If she can fit inside safely, then she wins. And to make things worse, she keeps playing herself, and she's not intelligent enough to be self-aware that she's doing so because she's going on this podcast with these people from the Breakfast Club, and they're low-key throwing shade at her, and she thinks they're being accommodating.
You good? Good morning. What's going on? Nice to meet you.
Hi, how are you?
Stormy, how are you?
Yep.
First of all, if I'm suing something like this, I'm trying to stay out of the public eye as much as possible. That's it. But you're going around, and clearly these people, like she said, they're throwing shade at her, and she thinks that they're being supportive when they're not. All right? This is the delusion, self-delusion, however you want to put it. Especially Jake, the women. Let's go to we got to go there. Did I already have it pulled up? No. This is Isaiah 3 and I think 16. Moreover, now we usually attributed this as being, Jake against Jake, but this is overall because it's moreover the Most High Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. What is haughty? It says root to soar, that is, be lofty. All right, high-minded, proud. All right, we all know about that pride, right? It says, daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the heads of the daughters of Zion, and the Most High Yahweh will discover their secret parts. All right. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet, and their calls, and their round tires like the moon. All right. Let's go. Let's see. Round tires. All right. All right. So all the things that there, your jewelry and all that. All right. It said the chains, the bracelets, and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings. The thing with the bonnets, now they're wearing those just because they're too lazy to do anything about their hair naturally, except for put fake shit on it. These curses are real, and it's there to identify who's who. Continuing on, 21. I'll start 20 again. The bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands, and the tablets, and the earrings, the rings, and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel, and the mantles, and the wimples, and the crisping pins, the glasses, and the fine linen, and the hoods, and the veils. And it shall come to pass, verse 24, that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girdling of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. Now let's go into this. So when we say sweet smell, we always know what that is. All right, and there is even in, is it Numbers, where it goes into how a man would, the things he would do to identify if, where is that? Is that in Numbers? Is it 5th chapter? Hold on just a second. All right, because these women here have no shame today. Is it 5? Let's see. Yeah, here it is. It's a test for adultery. Let's go there real quick. I'll come back here. I'll leave this so I won't get, no. So here we go. It was Numbers 5. Okay. Start at 11. The adultery test. All right. And the Most High Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, in this particular case, I don't think you have to worry about that, but I'm just bringing this out because going into the pride of these women, they think actually that they can do anything, including this, and get away with it with no. And of course, how are they to think otherwise? Because it's permitted here in Babylon. All right, continuing on. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon. All right, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of a memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. See, the Levites had, were busy. All right, it says, and the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Most High. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, If no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. 20. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, The Most High Yahweh make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Most High doth make thy thigh to rot, and thy belly to swell. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, and make thy belly thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse, and the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Most High, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall the shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causes the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thighs shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. So there you go. All right, back to the video.
Yep. This the only seat y'all got?
What you want? What you need?
There's one more.
A bigger chair or something.
She already little.
This is what I'm talking about. Good. This is accommodation.
There you go.
You hear that fake laughter? These people know that she's entitled and delusional. Bro, they took out a whole ass sofa.
Entitled and delusional. Entitled and delusional. Let's go into that. Let's see. Let me get this. I didn't start off with this. This is the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right? Because I'm not profiting, nor do I intend to profit in any way. This is just used as a teaching tool. All right? So let's go into that entitled like I was going to. Let's see. Entitled. All right. Let's see. Having the right or permission to do something. Qualified or for allowed worthy. Now I need something else. Let's see. Let's go into entitled. Sense of, to give someone title. All right. Let's see. Let's go. Let's just do the. All right. Let's see. Here it is right here. Under the assist. Entitled means having a right to certain benefits or privileges, or feeling that you deserve something without necessarily having to earn it. That's what I was looking for. Not that you deserve it. You just feel that you deserve it. And that's these women, oh my good, that Western, that's why everybody's getting away from it.
Bro, they took out a whole ass sofa, a sectional, a bench meant to seat multiple people, and you're still having a hard time sitting on it. Yet somehow you expect people to believe that you could squeeze inside a tiny car that most big men who aren't even as big as you can't sit in comfortably, which would require them to order the XL. I remember one of my exes was 6'5". He wasn't a fat guy, but he was very tall, and it was always hilarious because every time he tried to get into a regular medium-sized car, he ended up looking like a freaking spider folding in on itself. His legs were so damn long, his knees were always above, like crunched up, and he had to hunch forward or push the seat all the way back just to drive the freaking car. And that was when he's in the front, not to mention the back. He couldn't sit in the back, and it still wasn't enough. He wouldn't have been able to fit in the back of that guy's car, the Lyft driver that got fired, much less comfortably. And you believe that you have the superpower to warp space? You're not a cat. You're not liquid. If you can showcase your mutant X-Men ability to fold in on yourself and make yourself Mr. Fantastic in any space whatsoever, then you have a court case.
It's the only seat y'all got?
But if the rest of us regular people have the laws of physics apply to us, there's no reason they shouldn't apply to you unless you have these powers.
Michigan Civil Rights Act specifically protects people from weight discrimination, and the driver here turned down her ride because of her weight.
Asia or Dank Tomas in a much bigger car, and she's being crushed by the steering wheel here. I don't think she can safely drive this car. Also, if you look here at this rap video, she's almost the width of this SUV's trunk.
Short people can't make themselves taller to go on a ride that requires them to be a certain height. Tall people can't make themselves shorter, and they certainly can't ask everyone to break out the threshold of their doors so they don't have to bend when they're entering rooms. The standard exists for people of a certain height because most people aren't over 6'5". And you know what those people do? They get bigger cars or they build bigger houses for themselves. You don't see very tall people looking down on, okay, but they do look down on people, you know what I mean. But they're not entitled enough to expect that everyone bends to their will because of their height, which is something they can't change, by the way. But I just find it hilarious that this woman is suing this company, claiming the driver discriminated against her because she knew she could fit inside the car.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires.
Even though she's caught on video saying she thinks she can do things she cannot do because her mind doesn't realize how big she is.
My body right now, it's like my mind don't know that I'm this big. My mind does not know that I'm this big. So I be feeling like I can do everything. So when I walk in the gym, I feel like I'm fit.
Where?
Or like if I'm trying to do certain shit, I feel like I can do it. And then I be like, damn, I can't do this shit. But in my head, I'm like, damn, I can do this. So I'm gonna walk over there.
Simple ass to pick her up. Come on now. And what acting like there's not things for big people. Lane Bryant exists.
Yes.
Well, the problem is, Jesus Christ. The problem is not the Lyft driver, right? Because I'm not mad at that. I'm mad that she picked the wrong car.
Yeah, you got this guy fired because of your delusion, and then you continue to show the world that you're either a freaking liar or you are really legitimately delusional. Everywhere you go, you expect to be accommodated for your size, which you caused, and that's not going to help your court case.
This is what I'm talking about. Good, this is accommodation.
All they're going to see is that, yes, in most things designed for the average person, or even people slightly bigger than average or bigger than average, you're still not able to fit. Damn, your lawyer did you dirty, or you did yourself dirty, whichever one. But I'm really curious as to how the lawyer is going to spin this, because the chair that she had was in an open space and she still couldn't fit inside of it. And the back seat of that little car has the same size seat for one person on one side of the car, not to mention it's in an enclosed space, meaning you have to fully get inside the car and have another seat in front of you, but you want the world to believe you can fit inside it, even when other fat people are telling you that you can't. People that are fat, but not as fat as you, that cannot fit in those cars. If you have some kind of superpower that people are unaware of, now would be the time to reveal it.
You know, you walked in and, you said the chair was too small, so we had to bring the part of the sectional for you to sit in. And you said something. You said, now this is what I'm talking about, accommodations, right? Yes. Well, we live in a world that's not always going to be able to accommodate people that
But we should, because we're not all the same, you know?
Yeah, we're not all the same. But this argument doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, the world is built for the majority, the average people, not the extreme outliers of which you are a part of. Everything, cars, seats, doors, houses, basic infrastructure, they're designed for most people, not the tiny percentage of people who are 500 pounds or over. That's just how society and reality works. Now, it's one thing if someone has like a general disability or something they were born with. Of course, accommodations should be made for people who actually need them when it is necessary. But being 500 pounds is not a disability. It's the result of your personal choices. So you expecting the world to just accommodate you to something that you did to yourself is entitlement. It's not fairness. If someone is born without legs, making places accessible for them makes sense because they literally have no control over that. And even still, you live in a world where most people have legs. There's not mostly legless people walking around, which would make sense while some places don't even have ramps available. But of course, we do live in a world also where there's a lot of elderly people, so they have ramps for those people or people in wheelchairs. They do accommodate in those businesses. But if you're going up to random people's houses, most people with residential areas or houses are not not going to have ramps because most people are not legless or have a disability requiring them to need a wheelchair. But if someone eats themselves to the point where they can't fit into a regular seat, why should everyone else have to deal with that? That's like a smoker demanding that bars allow them to light up inside of the freaking establishments because they got addicted to cigarettes. You made the choice, so you should deal with the consequences.
I feel like we should. Like, why not? I feel like a lot of times people think that bigger people, obese, the F word people should just be in a house.
The F word, we're gonna get to that in a second. But here's the thing, right? If we start bending over backwards to accommodate every single form of extreme, where is it gonna stop? Should bodybuilders demand extra wide airplane seats because they bulked up too much? Should all the alcoholics start asking their jobs to change their work hours because they have hangovers? Should people who are addicted to shopping demand unlimited refunds because they can't control their spending? Like, at some point, personal responsibility has to kick in. We already have a problem with entitled culture in this country. And the truth is that accommodations should be made for people who actually need them. If we start doing that for people who don't, just based on their bad decisions, then those actual people who need it are gonna suffer. If you're 500 pounds and you can't fit in a normal seat, that ain't society's fault. That's on you. The world doesn't owe you special treatment just because you don't want to take accountability. And then you're out here getting people fired from their job. Also, what is this nonsense with the F word? Does she mean fat? This girl can cuss and say all manner of things in her music videos, yet she cannot say the word fat, which is a word that most fat people use and the word that describes her. Y'all can say fuck and say all that other stuff, but you can't say fat. Girl, stop.
And it's like, we not. Yeah, the F word. I'm not.
The word that you can't say in your house, fat. Oh, you know, like.
He just said it.
Oh!
I'm not saying that word.
Yeah, we don't use that word in my house either. I thought you were talking about the gay slur. I'm like, wait, I'm confused. No.
But I just feel like it should be accommodated. Bigger people should be accommodated, just like we accommodate the LGBT community.
Oh my God. I know she's not comparing being morbidly obese or fat to being a member of the LGBT.
Let's go into that because I'm glad she said that. Not fat, not obese, but morbidly. All right. Obese. Possessing a state of obesity deemed to be life-threatening. Now, I don't know if I passed that point where she said about her during some of her lyrics. They were concerned because she was like, trying to catch her breath. Morbid obesity, now referred to as class 3 obesity, is defined as having a body mass index of 40 or higher, or of 35 or higher with obesity-related health conditions. This level of obesity significantly increases the risk of serious health issues such as heart disease and diabetes. Yeah, she's a walking shrine to, walking, talking shrine to diabetes. All right, at the very least.
LGBTQ community, what in the world? There's so much to unpack here because there's a lot wrong with what she's saying. I think most people know that. But first off, the whole refusing to say the word fat, bitch, you're fat. Like, it's a descriptor, not a slur. If you can't even say the word, how are you expecting the world to accommodate something you're too ashamed to acknowledge? You can't demand that people cater to you while acting like your own existence is some unspeakable curse. You're contradicting yourself. People who are quadriplegic or...
That's why I chose this, because women can go in on other women like men can't.
have certain ailments, they say what their ailments are because they're acknowledging that they have the ailment. So you can't even acknowledge that you're fat, but yet you want the world to accommodate. So what are we accommodating? If you're not fat, what are we accommodating? And exactly how? Accommodating how? Because the world already makes basic accommodations for things that people can't control. Disabilities, medical conditions, accessibility issues. You're 500 pounds. It's not the same thing. That's not something that just happened to you. Like, nobody freaking opened up your mouth and put an airplane inside of you, and now you're just like that. You're stuck like that forever, and you can't get it surgically removed. You ate your way there. Most people that are, they eat, it is what it is. You weren't born 500 pounds. That was a series of choices that led to that outcome, and at some point, personal responsibility got to kick in. But then you have the nerve on top of that to compare this to the LGBT community and how society accommodates. That's insane, bro. If someone, generally speaking, if you are LGBT, that's not a choice, right?
Like they do with trying to compare themselves to what Jake went through. All right. Not the same. Not nearly the same.
You didn't wake up one day and decide to be gay and lesbian. Okay, I have met some people that wear it like a freaking fashion statement because they want to belong or try to prove some stuff. But actual people who are gay or queer, whatever, or I would just say gay, you know, because the queer thing apparently that's separate from it. I don't know. It's confusing. But I do know that gay people, they just feel the way they feel. It's like saying, oh, I like vanilla ice cream. You didn't get up one day and say, oh, you know, I'm going to choose to not be allergic to chocolate, or I'm going to choose to like vanilla today. You just like what you like. It's an intrinsic part of who they are. Society is learning to respect.
It's a spirit, all right? There's no coincidence that they decided to take that out of the DSM in the early 70s as being a mental disorder. All right? Because, hey, scientifically that's what it is, but we know that that's actually a spirit put on that person. All right?
Accommodate, that's good, but it still doesn't bend reality. That's a completely different argument. You're recognizing basic human rights and dignity, that's fine, but being that fat is literally a result of your behavior. No one is born 500 pounds. No one is naturally obese to the point where they can't fit in a chair or a car. That's the outcome of a lifestyle choice, eating habits, and your activity levels. So comparing the LGBT rights to fat rights is straight up insulting, because one is about equal rights, their identity is not really affecting anybody else, while the other is about people not wanting to face the consequences of their own actions. If someone is gay or trans or bisexual, they're not harming
about the LGBTQ community, all right? Because again, they force people to what? Bend or bow to them. All right. At least in that respect. All right.
One by existing. But if someone is 500 pounds and demanding that airplanes, car manufacturers, restaurants, and public spaces be restructured for them, or that you expect people to accommodate you in their car and then you get them fucking fired, you're literally forcing society to pay for your personal choices. Need we remind everybody, this man lost his job because of her. Has Lyft given him back his job? As far as I know, at the time this video was made, that man is still fired. Can he get another job? Sure. Why the fuck couldn't she get another car?
Other communities, I just feel like we outside. You know, if we inside, is get up. Why you in a house? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. When we outside, it's like,
oh God, stop. Nobody's having an issue with you being outside. I hate people that act as though they're trying to be victims, and you know damn well what you're doing. You are the result of somebody else losing the livelihood that they had because you're too dumb and entitled to accept your own mistakes and to take accountability for yourself and to be tapped into reality. Nobody was saying that you can't exist or that you can't be outside. So what is even this weird speak? If you start acting like this and then you're costing other people their jobs because of your disillusionment, then yeah, people are going to start saying maybe you should stay inside then. If you cannot function outside along other people and get along with other people and understand that your choices affect you, then maybe you shouldn't be interacting with society. That's why people would say that. And it has nothing to do with you being fat. It has to do with you being a horrible person and not respecting other people's boundaries.
Not in a house.
Well, people would say, okay,
Who actually told you that? Because, like, that's crazy. I don't believe that, F people should stay in the house. I mean,
that's how it is. We go outside and people looking at us crazy, like, we getting stared at for what? Because we big.
Fell, y'all. She fell and her own body couldn't get her up.
Of course she's playing the victim card. Because, girl, nobody is saying that. Nobody's out here telling fat people that they don't belong outside. I know this is hard to grasp, and people who are usually outside would know this, but people stare at things that stand out. It's just human nature. If you're 500 pounds or 600 pounds, of course people are going to notice because that's not the norm. Most people aren't walking around that size. So yeah, you're gonna get looks the same way a 7-foot tall person or someone with neon green hair or a dude walking a pet raccoon would get stared at. It's not about people hating on you, it's just curiosity and the fact that people naturally look at things that are not common. And if we're really being honest, nobody's actually saying fat people shouldn't be outside. That's something she's telling herself to feed this whole woe is me, society hates me because I'm fat narrative. People aren't out here policing whether or not she goes outside. Damn well she knows that's a lie. If anything, if people encourage overweight people to go outside and be active for their health, if she hears people saying those things like, oh, it'd be good for your health to get outside and move, it's not oppression, that's called reality, and you're going outside. Nobody's having an issue with that. The only time people started talking about you having an issue is when you got that guy fired from his job because you were delusional. You're doing this classic victim mentality. She wants to frame everything as society attacking her instead of just admitting that she's uncomfortable with how different she looks from the average person. But that's not society's fault. If you don't want to stand out, don't put yourself in a position where you will. And if you don't like the fact that you do stand out, then you can take the time to change that. But that's called accountability and responsibility.
The incident happening puts it on people's minds so you can tell what you have to deal with because, these are some of the things that we don't have to deal with.
Again, the plane situation, that's not my reality. Anytime shout out to Southwest because they accommodate bigger people. If you need 2 seats, they're going to give it to you for free.
I don't know about that, but just because they do that doesn't mean that everybody's going to do that. And ma'am, you're acting like there's no accommodation for you. That's why Lyft has the option for XL. You're just being cheap and entitled and not wanting to take it and making someone else's life hell. You're acting like there was no accommodation made for you whatsoever when they literally have the category for specific people like you or tall people or people that cannot fit into a normal car called the XL option. Bitch, don't be out here lying and acting as though you're not getting accommodations for your size. You could have ordered an XL.
If you pay for 2 seats, they're going to refund you.
Really?
I don't have that problem. Like,
even if that's what I'm saying. We don't speak about
like
it.
last time I went to Delta, they said
Delta charge you.
You might need 2 seats, ma'am, but we're gonna let you get on this time. I never have a problem with my seating when I get on the plane. Like, I never have problems. Like, when I come into a room, I demand my respect, and I'm sweet. I'm a nice person.
You are? Well, then it's either you're oppressed or you're not, because you're saying that the world is not accommodating for people like you, but then again, you're explaining how the airplane, or you said that's not your reality when it's the reality for a lot of people, that these airplane or these airports are accommodating. These airlines are accommodating to you. So it's either the world's accommodating or it's not. Which is it? Also, it's kind of an oxymoron because this person has proved every way possible during this whole ordeal that she is anything but a sweet person. But yet the people who act like this are the ones that scream the loudest, saying that they are a nice person. You got this man fired from his job. And it's not that he wasn't accommodating, because he even said that, she could order an XL or that he was going to order one for her. And yet she still decided to sue the company and get this man fired because she's a sweet and nice person. Even though she is complaining about there not being accommodations, there was literally an accommodation option for her, and she chose not to take it and instead chose to go the route.
I'll put the link to this. I've gone more than halfway through. The points have been made. I'll just say it like this. If for some strange reason there's something that I'm not aware of and she happens to win this because of that, I just don't see it. It's be considered frivolous at this point. But we'll see. But again, the pride, the level of entitlement of these women, you know, it's not looking good. But hey, we're at the end of this, and she won't have to worry about her weight if things are going as the way that, you know, everybody's getting laid off, and a lot of change is coming, and not for the good. All right, so hey, until the next video, I gotta get out of here. Hey, shalom, shalom.